More books. Cold tea. Bah. See, that's what you never see in people's videos. It's when they finally take a drink of cold tea. Authenticity. Right here. Hi guys, it's Leanne and this is part 2 of my September book haul. One of these days I might actually do a book haul in the month that I bought the books, but I doubt it. So without further ado, I blame the first book entirely on Sam. And that is Le Morte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. So there's a story behind this, guys. I spotted this book on Sam's channel because she is obsessed with Arthurian retellings. As a child, I was obsessed with King Arthur and the concept of Camelot and knights and not being a girl. And again, the lovely Mariah from Turning of Worlds absolutely hit the nail on the head when she says that these cloth-bound editions kind of feel like a book that you're going to find under 16 layers of dust at the back of a library and you're just going to, or in my case, and die slightly because I have a dust allergy. So this stunning edition with the gilt edges which get me every time also contain absolutely beautiful chapter headings and illustrations, which is how books like this should feel. The next book that I have, I'm not going to say anything about whatsoever because it is third in a series, and that is The Library of, is it Lost Souls? No, just The Library of Souls, which is the third book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series by Ransom Riggs.
I want a medal for saying all of that and getting none of it wrong.
The first Miss Peregrine's book is about a young man who's told stories about extremely peculiar circus-like children who lived in an orphanage that his grandfather lived in on a very small island off the coast of rural Wales. He grows up hearing these stories, then decides they're fairy tales, and then his granddad dies and he goes on a quest to find out whether they're real or not, and in the process finds out some stuff that he would probably rather not know. These books are just works of art and I absolutely love them. Also, I just read book 1 aloud to Helen and we're going to be moving on to book 2 very shortly so that I can read this. The next book that I have is a total and utter fangirly item, and it is the Harry Potter character vault. For those of you who have never seen these books before, this is the third in a series which are being co-produced by Titan Books, I'm assuming Warner Brothers Studios, and Jodie Reevenson, who writes the content for them. The other two in the series are The Creature Vault and Magical Places from the films. Oh my god, these are really heavy. While the three of the books really do rely very heavily on the movie depictions of Harry Potter, they also, I'm so putting them down before I drop them, they also draw from the books, especially the Creature Vault book. So for example, in the Creature Vault book you get some information on the merpeople which is drawn directly from the novels, then you get some concept art, and I think there's actually some fan art and some of J.K. Rowling's initial doodles of places and things in these books, and then you obviously, as it goes on, get to see the art from films and the process of how they created it. These are definitely for the hardcore fan only. They are coffee table books. They're not books that I personally would read cover to cover, but they're absolutely lovely and I'm so glad that I own them. I'm going to do a Harry Potter video in the future where I take you through all of the little bits and pieces that I have from the Harry Potter world, the action figures and the things that you see on my shelves, my wand collection and all of my different editions of the books and tie-in books and things. So you will get to see all of these books in more detail. The next thing that I have is You by Carolyn Kipnis, and it has kind of taken Booktube by storm. It is about Guinevere Beck who walks into a bookshop one day and leaves pretty much with a stalker. The book is written entirely from the stalker's point of view and he speaks to you. I'm going to try and fit this one in October. I'm not really doing a spooky reads challenge or anything like that, but I do kind of like some creepy books in October. The next books that I have are all a play on the same theme. The first one is George Orwell's Essays, and the second one is Keep the Aspidistra Flying. So the people who have been following me on Goodreads recently will know that I read Burmese Days earlier on in the year and I absolutely fell headlong in love with it. And I love these modern classics, and I love the Penguin Modern Classics covers, so I decided I'm finally going to replace my old Orwell books with new shiny covers. And I'm also going to be starting up a new feature on the channel soon, and George Orwell might very well be one of the first features. And the last novel of that theme that I have is George Orwell, An English Rebel. This is a novel by Robert Cooley. It is not a biography, but instead it is an investigation into George Orwell as an English artifact. It mostly looks into him in relation to English politics. I saw this on Goodreads and I can't remember who it was that I was discussing it with, so if it's you, thank you very much for introducing me to this book because it looks absolutely fabulous. And finally, I don't know if you'll remember, but in last month's wrap up I mentioned that I read The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler and that I absolutely loved it. And I showed you my Penguin Modern Classics bind up that I have of 3 of the novels, and I mentioned that there were some covers that I particularly liked the look of. So we have The Big Sleep, Farewell My Lovely, The High Window, The Lady in the Lake, My Little Sister, the very famous The Long Goodbye, Playback, and finally Trouble Is My Business. They are going to look so great together on my shelf. I absolutely love the fact that they're all numbered very clearly. I wish more publishers would do that with series, especially big famous series where people just think they can dip in anywhere, because I really am a fan of reading things in order. But that's it for now. As I said in my previous video, please do link me below if you have done any September book hauls or if you have added any books. Seriously, do let me know if you have added any books on Goodreads, or if you have done a haul on Instagram, or if you have uploaded a haul on YouTube, because I really want to see all of your new books and your vintage books and your library books and the books that you borrowed off your mum. Bye!